Okay, so the whole concept as we start the whole leash walking and just true connection is the leash at the end of the day means nothing. The leash we have to have on our dogs because there's leash loss.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have the leash be the control stick of our dog. So the leash is more of a responsibility to the dog, not to you. So we start with a concept that there's no other way to word it other than wandering and feeling and creating true connection. So you're going to just hold the leash in one hand, and at this point, preferably your right hand, and you're just going to throw it over your thumb. And the reason why I do it this way is because it creates you to disconnect from your dog. I just want you to get comfortable right here in center, because you have to be center if you're going to ask your dog to come join you.
Yeah.
Okay? So having it draped over, you can hold it. Just this leash is not about controlling your dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So wandering is feeling your dog and creating connection. So I'm going to start wandering with him and start talking you through what I'm doing. I'm leading the pack. I'm leading our walk. And I'm asking my dog to join me, not to lead me. So as I start going, I just go. I don't give any information. Is there any way where you don't want me to step?
No.
Okay. I don't care if he's sniffing. I don't care what he's doing. I'm just asking him to join and be with me wherever I'm going. Okay? And you can move the leash around, and it's just, I don't want to go that way because you're deciding to go that way. And so you don't want to make abrupt, like I'm turning this way and then I'm turning this way.
Yeah.
It's
You don't want to confuse me.
just wandering. There's no purpose to it, and there's no commands to it. It's asking your dog to be with you no matter what. So they're creating the problem on the leash, not you. If they get tangled, if they get close to you, they'll untangle themselves. So they'll learn that this is a much better place to be, and I don't care if they're sniffing. That's not what it's about. They can sniff along the way. There's no peeing or pooping unless they are deliberate about stopping and going to the bathroom. If there's just a little pee here and a little pee there and a little pee here, except for if she has a bladder infection, then you don't allow it. You just keep going. Because if we allow them to pee and poop everywhere along the way, then they're marking and creating their territory, their boundaries. So you don't allow. We are just a visitor through this big world, and we're going to do this together. So I want you to start wandering with Hildy, and just give her the whole leash. I don't care if it's dragging or not, and it doesn't matter if it goes underneath her leg. And you just stay center and feel her if she goes against the up. Now, so you would change directions. Anytime she gets ahead, just change directions. And if she keeps pulling back, then you keep going in the same opposite direction. And you guys, when you are out together, you can wander together. So if you change directions, then I would change directions with you.
Okay.
So that the dogs understand that we are doing this together as a pack, and that we follow the leader. So you guys need to kind of decide who's going to lead the walk. So you're not all trying to figure out who's following who. So that everybody makes that true connection and pairs up together. Okay?
Should I be giving it is it as simple as changing direction and just keep going if the dog is resisting? Okay, I don't need to give it a tug?
Nope.
Anything
Nope,
that?
you just keep going and stay focused where you're headed. And you can, if she falls off to the other side and that leash goes behind you, you can switch that leash around so it's not behind you. Just whatever's comfortable. And so what's going to happen when you get out there is you're going to say, oh, there's a dog, and you're just going to wander away from that dog. Because what we're telling them is, we don't need to worry about that because that's not our job.
Yeah.
And you want to wander as much as possible. There's no such thing as too much wandering. And the more you wander, the better. So it's, go ahead and let go of it. Don't do that again. So finding some open, places that you can wander through. Some of the back alleys are good to go. So whoever has the naughtier of the two that day is who will most likely lead the wander. So if I'm following you and he starts acting up and I change directions, then you would change with me and vice versa. But in general, kind of make a decision who's going to be the head wanderer.
Got it.
So even like this scenario, you just go, oh, we're going to go this way then. And it's good for you guys to get into a conversation and take that time, if you're doing it together, to just make that connection for the two of you.
Okay.
So it's not focused on wandering. It's today we are going for a wander, and this is our time to talk.
Okay.
And because that's when most dogs take advantage of us, is that we're training, and then it feels really good, and then all of a sudden you start talking, and they go, oh, watch this, I can go that way, and then you're going to battle it. So you guys need to have conversation and do things that create connections so the dogs feel a part of that connection.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Okay. So your homework is going to be to wander as much as you possibly can.